What is up, everybody? We are 3 weeks away or so away from the release of the Final Fantasy Magic set. So I put together this complete collecting guide for anybody that's just getting started and wants to collect this, or experienced people that are looking at this for the first time. I spent like 2.5 hours going through articles, man. I don't know if my reading comprehension is just bad these days, but there is a lot to digest with this set, with all they're doing, with all their variations. So hopefully I can break this down for people. And this is a useful tool for someone that wants to get into this set, which, by the way, do not buy pre-releases of stuff on TCG. Cards always will drop in price. This set is absolutely bonkers in price already, but all right, let's get started with all of the stuff. These are all the products that you can get, kind of. But let's start. So you have the Play Booster. There's 30 packs in there. MSRP is around like I think 180. These are already above MSRP, but this is like the basic thing. And I expect Play Booster boxes to be around for a while. So if you don't hit the first wave, then you're gonna have a chance to get it. So it's Play Booster box, the kind of basic tool. Then you have the collector booster box. This is the thing that people are going absolutely bonkers over. MSRP is around 450. I think it's selling for like 650 to 750 on eBay. Depends. I think it'll continue to go up because the trick is with collector booster boxes, they are never reprinted. At least that's what Wizard tells us. So this is also where you're gonna get the really, really good stuff. So yeah, I have one pre-ordered myself. I'm happy I have it. Don't think I'll get another. Don't think I can afford another. So that's the collector booster box. There's 12 packs in there. Moving to the bundle on the right. So the bundle on the right has 32 full art lands, which are cool. 2 extended art cards of 163. We'll get into that later. And then 9 packs and a cool little countdown die and a cool little box. That's it. The gift bundle has the exact same thing, except maybe a cooler box and 1 collector booster box. So I think the bundle, the not gift bundle, is I think $60, and the gift bundle is $90. That is MSRP. Obviously, I think the gift bundle has gone up a lot because everybody is chasing these collector packs, which are going for like $60, $70 a pop right now. So everything is kind of being skewed because of the chase in the collector booster packs. So that's what's in the gift bundle. I do think the box is, you get a cool little carrying box that's pretty nifty. So moving over to the starter kit, this is a 1v1. I think it's Cloud v Sephiroth. Pretty cool. I think this is like 25 bucks. This is probably the best entry product if you've never played Magic. If you want to play, this will be for sale probably at like Target for $20, $30. I forget exactly what, but very accessible. Next, you have commander decks. There's 4 commander decks. I don't need to go through them all, but the black ones there are normal. I think MSRP is like 70 on those. And they're kind of all over the place depending on what's inside. And then the white ones, the collector commander decks, are just those, but every card is in Surge foil, which is a really cool Surge kind of like foil treatment. I don't think these are for sale anywhere at MSRP. I've actually never even seen them at MSRP. I don't know what it is, but they're there. They exist in the world. I hope someone enjoys them. It feels like one of the things that you'll never open up. And then finally, the pre-release kit, which is a cool little thing to go to a pre-release. Highly recommended. 6 packs inside. I think there's a die as well, and you can go and make a little deck and play in your local tournament. So that's also a really fun entry to vehicle. Okay, so that's all the stuff. Kind of. So there's more stuff. There's also a secret layer, and the amount of times I think I almost put secret liar. No, secret layer. There's 3 drops. They're coming out. I think it's June 9th or 6th. I have a calendar reminder to get into a line, which I probably will not get out of. But basically, there's going to be 3 of them total. Game Over, Grimoire, and then Weapons. I think they're each 5 cards, and they come with a bonus. And there's foil and non-foil. I think there's one everyone's gonna be chasing is for 200 bucks. You can get, I think, all 3 of them in foil and non-foil, and then also a bonus. I think something like that. I'm not a huge secret layer guy. These are the only ways to get these cards. I think this is pretty much an instant thing that's going to be for sale for more expensive than it was the day it sold on eBay. This is just going to be so hype. There will be, whatever bots in the stupid room. I hate that's where we are as a world, where there's just gonna be people with bots spamming card website to try to flip it on eBay. But this exists, Secret Layer. It's out there. If you order all of them, you get the Gilded Lotus as a little bonus. I didn't want to spend too much time on this because I want to get the actual set. So the actual set. The main set is 309 cards. That's 20 mythics, 74 rares, and then a bunch of other stuff. But you kind of need to think of this almost as 3 sets. So that's the main set. That's what this little crystal symbol on the right is. And then there's something called Final Fantasy Through the Ages. This is 64 cards, and basically all of these are reprints of popular cards. Like you can see, like the Rhythmic Study, and I think Lightning Bolt or Thunderbolt or whatever. These are all popular cards that people play with, basically reskinned in a Final Fantasy set. So that's Final Fantasy Through the Ages. That's smaller, and then there's also the commander piece of this, which are the commander decks, and some of those are, I think there's 25 new to Magic cards, and there's also obviously reprints with Final Fantasy reskins on it. So that's what this looks like. Kind of think of it as 3 different sets almost, which is a lot to track. All right, card variations. Holy crap. So you have normal / standard, whatever you want to call it. That is a card with a black border around it. That is the normal version, and all of them come in foil, which is shiny, and non-foil. Then you have borderless. Within the borderless, all these can be foil or non-foil, but there's 3 different buckets. There's artist cards, there's wood blocks, and there's character cards. I will get into each of these in the next little bit here. I want to get through like the 30,000 foot view before like diving into other stuff. And right now it's friggin' like motorcycle gang driving by right now. Ugh, I hate living on a busy road. Anyways, extended art. There's also extended art, which is mostly taking the commander decks and a few other things and making them completely extended. We can do a little comparison of what is borderless versus what is extended. But basically, the borderless doesn't have a border. The extended, the kind of art peers through the side. Then you have the Final Fantasy Through the Ages. We'll look at that. Those are also all full art. I think they're technically called Showcase. Then you have full art lands. And then technically you have, I think it's called Secret Rendezvous. There's 4 different variations of it. There's 15 SIDS and 5 Chocobos. And then also there's the Surge foils from the Commander Collector decks. And then also technically the pre-release come with 1 rare that has a stamp. So there's another variation there. The pre-release version, I think, just don't even worry about it. The big ones to think about are going to be the normal, and then the 3 sort of buckets of borderless. That's what most people are going to encounter, I think. Okay, so let's look at borderless. We have, first off, the artist cards. There's 10 of these total, and they're sort of the artists, like the famous Final Fantasy artists. I looked at the names, and I'm not that big of a fan to like know who these guys are, but I'm sure there are people that are like foaming at the mouth over this. But these are cards done by them. Oops. That are basically already, rares or mythics in the set that have gotten this special treatment. So right here we have the Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier, in this artist treatment. So you can see this is a borderless card. Pretty darn cool. I think these are going to be pretty big chase cards, but these are all from the main set. Next, we have woodblock cards. I think these are kind of, they're whatever. There's 50 of them. They're from the main set, and they look kind of like this little Moogle merchant here, a cute little friend. So that's what those are. So that's the woodblock. Next, we have character cards. Character cards are from the main sets. You can only get the mythics in the collector booster. I think these are going to be a kind of a big chase, but they look very much like kind of like traditional, I guess, animated versions of the cards, if you will. So they look very, I don't know to describe it, like basically the graphics of the game, if you will, a little bit better. But those are the character cards. I think that this is going to be kind of a big chase. And there's also adventure lands that get this nice treatment here. And then technically there's also the full art lands that you can get in packs. So as far as where you can get this stuff, the wood block, I think you can get in everything. The artist cards you can get, I believe, everything except the mythics in play boosters, and the same thing with the character cards. So and then I believe also with the adventure lands, I'm not sure you can get the borderless ones. It's actually very confusing. The amount of time I spent like clicking through different treatments. I'll just say I learned something, so that's good. All right, so that's the borderless. Really, the big thing to keep in mind is the artist cards are different from the character cards. And the wood block, I think it's kind of easy to just like put that off in the side of your mind, like, okay, that's just wood block, kind of a weird style. Moving on to extended art. So everything, there's 163 extended art. And what's the difference between borderless and extended art? Well, you can kind of see here that they still have a border a little bit. Like the sword sweeps down, but like there's kind of still this black on the bottom, so that's the difference. These are going to be all the cards. So in the commander deck, all the cards are going to have the black border, right? So this is taking the borders off of those. I think there's 98 from the main set, 65 from the commander set, and they're only going to be available in collector boosters and the bundles. That the bundles also come with 2 extended art legendary creatures. Here's the thing: it's a bummer. There's 163 of these, so a lot of them are going to be uncommon, I think, legendary creatures. It's not all rare. So in those bundles, you get 2, it's not fixed, it's random extended art legendary creatures. You could get 2 uncommons. It's probably, frankly, the most likely thing. So a bit of a bummer there not to have like a fixed chase thing. Like in the Lord of the Rings set, you got the One Ring, which was super cool. In this, you could just get some like doofuses. But so it goes. It would have been nice if it was like a rare one instead of any of the 163. All right, so that's the extended art. That's basically taking everything. I think cards can also have like multiple treatments here, right? Where like you could get a wood block and then also an extended art. I think it's not all the data out there yet. We'll know more as time goes on here. All right, Through the Ages, 64 cards. All of these are foil and non-foil, and they're pretty much all reprints of super cool stuff and the most nostalgic, feeding the nerds style here. You have Titus with Yuna, Squall looking awesome. I mean, this stuff like hits me because I played Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10. Like that was like peak childhood, not getting picked for sports teams, so I stayed inside times. So this stuff is super cool to me. The Through the Ages is also, I think, 1 in every 3 normal boosters can have a Through the Ages on there, and I think collector boosters has a fixed slot for them. So if you're really interested in collecting these, and I think this is where all the money is going to go, like the big value stuff. We'll get into a few other things, but I think that the big value items are going to be the Through the Ages, just because they're useful in other formats as well. But super cool. I'd recommend checking out the gallery for sort of other images here of the 64 other or 62 other cards. Okay, Sid, our friend Sid. If you play Final Fantasy, you know that there is always a character named Sid in the Final Fantasy games. So they have 15 versions of Sid that exist. And I can't even remember if he's a rare or not. It doesn't really matter. But basically, there's 15 versions of him. He's an uncommon. There's 15 versions of him. A deck can have any number of Sids. He's a timeless artificer. I don't think he's actually great in decks. I haven't really thought about it too much, but basically you can collect all 15. I think he is just in normal treatment and then foil. So there's no 15 of these to collect in borderless or extended art, although he's a legendary creature. So I don't know why he wouldn't get, I guess he just does not get the extended art treatment. Let's not think about it too much. I think it's just those two. So you can collect all 15 of those. And then Secret Rendezvous. If you've played the new Final Fantasy VII, or I guess the original game as well, you're going to know that Cloud gets to have a date with either Tifa, Yuffie, Aerith, or Barrett, and depending on some of the choices you make. So there's 4 variations of Secret Rendezvous. I only put 3 up there because it just looked better that way. But you can collect all 4 of them. I think one is in, I think the Cloud Tifa is in the commander deck, kind of as a fixed thing. But that's another thing to collect. So 15 SIDS and 4 versions of Secret Rendezvous. And let's wrap this up with the coolest bird in town, the endless chocobos. There is not as many serialized cards. I thought we were going to get tons of serialized cards in this set. That was like my bet. But there's not. There's only one serialized card. A serialized card means there's only X number. In this case, X is 77. There's only 77 golden chocobos in the world. And it looks like that card at the top right. I think this thing, especially a special number, I can see this going for like $5,000, $7,000, $10,000. I don't even know. I'm making up numbers, but I could see it being very, very expensive. So you have the traveling chocobo in gold. That is serialized. And then there is 5 other variations. There's a pink, yellow, blue, green, and then black that exists. So I guess there's a total of 6 variations. And these are all mythic, so they're all going to be hard to pull. They can only be pulled from collector boosters, which is, it is as it is. They only come in this full art treatment. And I'll just say as well that all of them come in foil except the black, which does not come in black. And I think the foiling on it is called a neon foiling. So I think it's a new foiling pattern that I'm sure is going to be super hype, and everyone's going to be, saying it looks great, just like the Dragon Scale stuff did. But strangely, the black only comes in Japanese. I think that was sort of an homage to the original Chocobo, blah, 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 something, 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 but only comes in black. I'm sorry, only comes in Japanese and not in foil. So I hope this is useful. I'm sure I missed some stuff. I'm sure I screwed up a few variations. This game is going to be so fun to collect. I feel like there's so many collation errors waiting to happen with the number of variations, the number of like little hiccups, but whatever. I'm excited. Obviously, I would love to pick up a bunch of this stuff for my own personal collection. I'd love to create a cube. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to get my hands on enough product. I think it is in Wizards' interest to print the living daylights out of this because the demand is high. So I don't know why there wouldn't be more of this coming. I also think there'll be a second run of stuff like similar to they with Lord of the Rings, where there was like the Showcase Scroll Special Collector Edition that came out later. I think it'll follow that model. I don't have any special information. I just think that this is going to be the biggest commercial success in the history of this game. And why would you not try to replicate that somehow? So we will see what happens. I've got some stuff pre-released. I'm excited to rip some packs. I'll be doing that on the channel. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. Love to hear if you guys manage to score any of the stuff on pre-release or whatever. I'm playing it a pre-release as well, which should be a lot of fun. Actually, I'm playing in 2 of them. So we'll see how I do. I think not well. But that's all the time we've got for today. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll catch you guys later.